The Guardians start a 4-game series tonight, man, with the Baltimore Orioles. Top 2 teams in the American League. What are you all expecting? Just a programming alert. Ben Lively, of course, will take the mound for the Guardians. We did have a graphic showing who the Orioles starting pitcher was. It is now to be determined. So what's your thoughts on going into this big series this weekend?
It's another chance for the Guardians to prove a lot of the doubters wrong. This is a matchup of the 2 teams in the American League with the most wins. The Guardians have 2 fewer losses than Baltimore. You're going to get a chance to see Tanner Bybee go up against one of the best offenses in baseball. You're going to get a chance to see if Ben Lively and what he's done this season, which has been miraculous on every account, can continue against another terrific lineup. And it's another chance for the Guardians to build some confidence as they head towards the playoff push. Tyvis, Jason, this is another opportunity for the Guardians to continue proving that this isn't a fluke and what they have done is legitimate with about 55 games left to go.
The last time we played them, didn't we win the series?
I believe it was 2 or 3 Guardians took, yes.
And at the trade deadline, the Orioles got somebody, didn't they?
They got a lot of somebody.
They
were very aggressive.
So
no stars, but a bunch of pieces.
See, and that's the thing for me. I think that when I watch this, I know it's early, but I want to see, we got to see Lane Thomas. I think he had a hit.
He did, 1 for 4.
Yeah, we got to see Lane Thomas. I think that now you can see some of the trade because I'm sure they'll have maybe some of their pieces that they got. Maybe.
I think the reason their rotation switched is because it might be Eiflin or Rogers or whoever.
Yeah, so I want to see it. To me, this game, it's early because they haven't got their groove yet. But it will see some of the new pieces for both teams and see what the new team look like with their new said pieces in there. And if the Guardians could go out there and to win this series, I think it'll ease a lot of people's minds about, okay, well, at the trade deadline, maybe they didn't get the big name guys, but they still are beating the best teams in baseball, and I think that's what a lot of people will be looking at when they see this matchup.
Can I derail this for 30 seconds? Because I honestly don't know the answer to this because I haven't been here. What was the reaction to the trade deadline? Where people...
They said they liked it, but it wasn't the big fish. But it's like, all right, they understood that they needed those 2 positions, but the name wasn't like...
We graded it on the show.
Yeah.
We all were in the B area.
I mean, the Guardians are famous for they're not going to wow you with who they get, but he's going to produce. I actually really like Alex Cobb. I like that move a lot.
Low risk, high reward.
Yeah, excuse me. It was one of those names of afterwards. Of course, that's a vintage Guardians move. Should have seen that coming. Hopefully he's healthy and he can jump back in here soon. As far as the series, I got to take a drink. As far as the series goes, I'm excited to see it just because, to me, Baltimore is sort of the standard of the American League. And all the moves that they made, there's no reason Cleveland can't come in here. I mean, I still think Cleveland go to the World Series. I think they're that good this year. And the bullpen is that good specifically. So, to me, these are 2 of the best teams in the league. But if the Guardians were to get swept, that would be devastating. But, anything short of that, I'm not going to overreact to August 1st series. There's still a ton of baseball left, a ton left. But it is nice when you have matchups like this. You're going to see their best. I think Corbin Burns pitches in this series, one of the top pitchers in the American League. We'll see how the Guardians line up their rotation and when they can start to get some of these pieces like an Alex Cobb. I don't think it's been announced when he's pitching, has it?
No, he had the blister issue, so he's not pitching this series. We know that. He's not one of the 4 scheduled pitchers.
So I'm curious to see what he looks like. And, again, if he gets beat around the first time or 2,
it's like Gavin Williams coming back.
He hasn't pitched in a year.
Happen, yeah.
So don't overreact. If you were upset with the trade deadline and then he gets knocked around in his first start, just relax because he does have a long track record of success. He's a little bit older, but he's, the fact he hasn't pitched all this year is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. So I'm excited to see this team. The one thing I noticed on the Lane Thomas move, I was looking real quick this morning. I was just trying to do some scans to get some number projections. Over the last 3 years, StatCast projects had Thomas played all of his games at Progressive Field, he would actually have 11 less home runs than what he actually does. So everyone talks about, now again, the park factor this year, and it's a jetway in there. And
why do you have to say that? Why even bring up that stat? Why you dampen the mood, man?
Come on,
it's
Jason.
a fact. I'm pointing out a fact.
I'm pointing out a fact.
Now, if he don't hit no home runs at home for the rest of the season,
Blame Jason.
But again, that carries this year, last year, and the year before, and obviously the park seem to be playing a little bit differently this year for whatever reason.
I hope he hit a home run tonight.
I hope he does
they in
too.
Cleveland, right?
Yeah, and I hope he
does too.
DTXs. And it says Jason Lloyd and double fingers.
I mean,
him.
it's the numbers. What do you want me to do? It's the numbers.
This is a popular show, Jason. He's watching right now.
Had they been 11 more, would you like me to mention that? Hey,
Yes.
you'd hit 11 more home runs.
Yes, this
Would-
is the
would that-
positivity hour. In all seriousness, one thing I am very excited for this series, whenever the Guardians have played these top teams, and Philadelphia last weekend was the perfect example of it, Stephen Vogt manages like it's Game 7 of the World Series in these situations. I mean, he goes to the bullpen early, he throws his best arms, and anytime you can get those high leverage situations, even though it is not apples to apples to the playoffs, I'm not trying to say that it's exactly the same. Mm-hmm. When you can get those proverbial reps in that mindset beforehand, I do think there is some carryover to when push comes to shove and it's actual playoff baseball. So I'm very excited to see how Vogt manages the bullpen, how long of a leash he gives to Carrasco, and if Joey Cantillo makes a second start. How about Joey, by the way, who's scheduled to start on Saturday? First 2 Major League starts, Philadelphia and Baltimore. Talk about 2 destructive lineups. He held his own against Philly. I'm very excited to see what he does against Baltimore. But
this Ben Lively one today is big for me because can he handle it? That's the question. Can he handle it?
He's answered every question so
He
far this
has,
year.
and has he?
He's been awesome this year.
And Bybee is pitching against the Orioles.
Bybee's on Sunday. I'm going Sunday.
I
I'm
wonder
very
how
excited
many.
to see
I
that.
wonder how many innings he pitches because he's been in the 5 to 6, right?
It's
About
pitch
where
count for him, yeah.
all the baseball is, all major league pitchers are.
Are you going this weekend?
We have a ton going on.
So
we'll
probably
see.
not.
We'll see. Possibly. The Carrasco thing, I don't know how much longer he has left. Like when Cobb's healthy.
So what happens when what they gonna bring McKenzie or
No, Cobb.
Allen?
Cobb. When
So
Cobb's ready.
So when when you say Carrasco, is they gonna send him down to AAA or is he just pack? Don't say that. Really?
What are you gonna do with him?
I don't know, but you can't just cut
He's
the guy.
done. And he, like, listen, Carlos Carrasco was supposed to be a feel-good story. He
Yeah.
was supposed to be a guy who would come here, compete for maybe the last spot in the bullpen. And what he's given them to this point is commendable. Like, it's
I say incredible.
Why
got-
can't he go to the bullpen?
over who?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
There. You got me there.
I hope. Listen, Cookie's a great story. I'd love for him to finish his career here, and he might be.
What's his record? What's his pitcher record?
It's not good. His numbers this
His
year
number-
are not
yeah.
good. They're not good.
I think
But-
his record's decent because they're the best team in baseball, but I don't think his ERA, his whip, his strikeouts to walks.
If they cut him and they win the World Series, has he played with?
Oh,
this
he gets
team?
a ring.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
He 100% gets
Just asking the questions.
But I mean, they've gotten far more out of him this year than they ever could have imagined that they were going to get when they signed him. He was supposed to be a sentimental signing. Hey, maybe you can claim the last spot in the bullpen, and look at what he's given them. So it's a good story, but
how long until Cobb's ready?
hopefully soon.
He threw some rehab starts for San Francisco. He got a blister on his finger, so he got scrapped from his last one. So Jeff Passan said he thinks he's going to get one rehab start for either Columbus or Akron or whatever, and then hopefully be ready to make his Major League debut. Or this season's debut. Okay. Earl asked us to do our top 5 position players for the series. And I'm curious.
Oh, Gunnar Henderson.
Well, I'm curious where, because Baltimore's lineup's filthy. Like, they have 3 to 4 legit studs. Jason, did you have a consensus number 1 in this?
Gunnar Henderson.
Thank you.
Over Jose?
Yeah.
You took Gunnar over Jose?
Yeah. Just because he's younger.
Well, it's right now. It's right now, not moving forward.
Yes.
But like this series, you'd want Gunnar over Jose for this series?
Well, I have to look at Gunner's numbers for the last 10 days and Jose's for, like, you know what I mean? But they're 1 and 1A.
I had those as my top 2. I had Jose 1, Gunnar 2.
Yeah, I off top of my head, I mean, listen, it wouldn't be very hard to convince me to go Jose. Off the top of my head, it'd probably be Gunner, but yeah,
who's
no one's going
3?
to be sad over having Jose Ramirez.
Who's 3?
Probably either
I went Rutschman.
Rutschman or Corbin Burns.
No pitch, just
no
position
pitch.
player.
Oh,
just
no
position
pitch.
player.
Rutschman.
Oh, then
For
Rutschman.
Rutschman. Did you have Rutschman?
Yes, I did.
Who do you have at 4?
See, this is where it gets tricky.
It would probably be Jordan Westburg, but he just got hurt. Westberg's having a terrific
What about
year.
Santander, who has 31 homers and 75 ribbies?
Yeah,
He got 31 home runs.
I like
He may have hit one last night. He may have 32 now, but he had 31.
Westberg just came out of nowhere this year, but you're right.
I liked it. Yeah, he was balling.
When would the next Guardian appear?
That's what I'm
Well,
trying to. That's
I
the
had
point.
Santander at 4, and then I could argue for Quan or Naylor at 5. That's how I kind of came to this.
I was gonna put Quan 4th, but
Over Santander?
no, because now 31 home runs. Like that's
It's legit.
Quan's 5th. Quan's 5th.
You take Naylor or Quan as the second Guardian?
Quan.
Naylor.
I'm taking Quan.
Naylor. Quan's sort of cooled
He
considerably.
has, and it's really upsetting me.
It's the Tyvus jinx. Well,
me-
the first pitch tonight is at 6:40, and I got to wrap this up because we have a very special guest joining us after a quick word from Earl of Pearl.